Hi everyone, how are you? So I hope you guys are all doing well. Just kind of hopping in here to share I get Divine Feminine Atonement. So this necessary step, right? This necessary step forward for your continued progression. And it's very relevant at this time what we can see, out in the world. Where you are within this system. Where you are complacent within a system. Where you are holding on to something. Right? Unconsciously, likely. Because it's all you know. Because it's all you know, and you can't imagine that there could possibly be another side to this. And understanding that step into the unknown, to explore, right? The unknown, to explore, to take a step back, and to look at things from another angle. And this, when you do this, let's say, you are not giving anything up necessarily. You're just coming at it from another angle in order to see it fully, wholly, completely, full circle, in order to see the full circle. In order for things to come full circle, in order to see things from another perspective. To hold things from another perspective. And to just begin to explore, to understand, where is this person coming from? How can I create a bridge? How can I open this person up, perhaps, to something more expanded? And so it's taking a step out of this polarity stance in order to see things fully, wholly, completely. Just as they are happening, right? As things are happening. Because everything is happening. Everything is happening. And yet, you are able to hold this still point. As everything around you is happening. To create from. It is finding elegance and harmony within chaos. It is understanding, right? It is not taking a polarized stance. It is simply within understanding of humanity, where we are at and how to move forward as a whole. As a whole. And I cannot understand another's perspective unless it fits into the whole, unless it creates unity. This idea that somehow if I open up to this other perspective, right, because you can imagine, God, where do we want to go to without, creating like there's some kind of conspiracy theory behind everything, right? Some things just are. Let's look at what just is, if we can go there. Ooh. Can you imagine that? Going back to that origin point. Return to this origin point, right? This ability to shift, right, perspective based on your location within time and space. Within holding space, within holding time as eternal in nature. I was listening to something earlier today on this white male, who initially looking at him, you would not expect this, let's say, but going with truth and light, right? Listening and holding space for the unfolding, let's say. I was listening to this man share, right? Facts as they are within our history, right? Facts within our history. Now, this may not be the history that you have been taught or told or fixated on, is the word I get. But this is just history as it is. And when you understand history, right, outside of, within context, right, when you can understand the whole, right, and understand humanity and without educate yourself to the point of understanding, right? To educate, because that is our learning, right? Learning is a part of what we are here for. Right? Learning, right? That is a purpose, right? Teaching, learning. And so when you open up to learning about history, let's put it that way, learning about history and understanding all of the various perspectives that you may hold within an understanding, to grasp, you could say a conceptual understanding. Right? We all have this capability within our brains, regardless of where we are at within the system. This is just a human ability, right? It is when you are operating from within your humanity, your own humanity, right? Understanding what is humanity. So I ask you, what does humanity mean to you? I want you to connect to humanity. We are a part of humanity. How do we uplift humanity at this time? How do we rise up as a human people? When we are all able to understand these perspectives that are located within the whole. You could say, right? And rise up, like you can truly understand, you can work through, you can process through, right? Within your own world, you could say. And you building that within, right? And building that within. And this is within everyone's capacity. Now, so facts within our history. And I just want you to take a step back, right? Let's look at our history. Let's look at her story. Let's look at everything happening at once. Now, let's look at that. Everything happening at once. Right? Past, present, future. Here we are in the present moment on this planet. Do you see the possibility here in this moment to create change? Simply by stepping out of your bubble, your light bubble, your white bubble, whatever you may be currently located in. Whatever your bubble is. Because I can tell you that I am, for me, myself, in understanding my process, I have to continuously expand out, right? To go into non-awareness, to completely release, birth, sacred feminine. That is her process. It is birth. That is how we bring life into this world. And when you're able to connect to that power, that is our process, irregardless of whether you have children or where, but your ability to birth, your ability to labor and to bring something in, to create within the sacred womb, to bring together and birth into the world, into being, birthing something into being from a thought, from an idea, from a tone. And to return to, that original idea, original tone. What do you truly desire to create and manifest? And aligning to that, within the greater whole. Because what you may think is right. It's 444 here. What you may think is right, what you feel is right for you, it may not be right for everybody. And it may do harm to another. Do you see how you are part of a whole? And do you wish to create that division? You have to understand the systems in order to where you understand where you hold complacency within that system. Right? But you have to understand like whole systems, how systems work. And then you can understand past, present, future. And you can understand these things, right? And this is all within our capacity to understand, because this is just like organizing, right? And how do you self-organize? For the feminine, it is about birthing. Really, I really want you to lean into your feminine right now. I really want you to lean into your feminine. To birth something new in. Because whatever you're holding on to is gotta go. In order to bring this new into being. This new life into being. This is about creating like this new life, right? Within connection to the whole. So you are within alignment. Right? So back to this greed, right? This toxic masculinity, this seed tone, right? This origin point. Now, mind you, I did not thoroughly check these facts, but go ahead, check them. I just know them to be true. I just can feel it in my bones. It's a tone. It's a vibration. It's a reality. It is the reality. Within the whole. The reality, the total reality. And so this man was talking about people. I think he said it was about 600 years ago, right before this point in history, this origin point, this time juncture, you could say, right? This timeline, right? This trajectory of humanity, right? Everybody was just people. At least, based on what we know. Based on what we know. Not everything's a lie. Like, unless you want to exist in that reality. And that's fine. That's just your chosen reality. That's fine. But you can choose to know for yourself what is real and what is not, what is true and what is not. You can know. You can know based on your own feeling, your own understanding, your own ability to comprehend, right? It's that. So it is within your capacity, your potential to at least to get there, perhaps. So the 600 years ago, the Roman Catholic Church chose to allow the European state of Portugal. They gave them the rights, right? They gave them permission to essentially have pieces of Africa and do whatever the hell they wanted in order to establish domination and control. All in the name of the church. The early days of the church. Not saying I was baptized Catholic, Roman Catholic. I grew up in Catholic schools. I have a very, very deep connection to my Catholic roots. Very deep. I was Catholic. I was a Catholic girl. I was very connected to Catholicism, right? I was connected. And I'm the oldest, right? My mom is very connected to the church. I don't feel she's aligned, but she's connected, right? And I hold this connection to the church. I do not go to Mass. My son was baptized, but I have not forced anything upon him. Asking him if he wants to make Holy Communion, and he does not. So, and of course my mother, right? My mother will have problems with that. So my family programming, I have a lot, I have all this stuff. We have all this stuff happening right within our family trees, within our ancestral roots, right? That I can, okay, so I can connect to, right? That's all I'm saying. I can connect to this. Now, in order to understand, right, certain things for myself and how I have arrived to this space, right? My ancestry, how things were affected within my ancestry. Let's say based on this event, 600 years ago, the Roman Catholic Church says, Portugal, go do this. Right? You have essentially to rape people, pillage, This is where racism begins. This origin point, 600 years ago. According to this man, right, this is where racism began to, white supremacy, the rising, right, of the Aryan root race. Within that, I'm just trying to see how that connects, because Rome is Mediterranean, Portugal is more Mediterranean, right? Southern European. But let's say, okay, so this patriarchal, right? This patriarchy. Let's go there. Although it has roots, right, within Rome. Right. So this Holy Roman, right, Empire. These roots of things met the rise of, right, white men. But then even art like this, right? This. It's just if you can see, there's branches. It's like branches from a tree, right? So you have the roots. Yes, there we go. We have the roots, right, which we're getting to those roots and we're pulling them up, right? This, I'm doing ancestry work, and I hesitate to say this old family tree, but you know, whatever I had within my mind, right? Let's say this, I'm shifting my perspective, right? So let's talk about shifting perspective. Divine Feminine Atonement. I don't know how I'm still in alignment with that, but other than to share, this is, okay, this is necessary, right? This work is necessary, okay? This Divine Feminine Atonement. There we go. So this, for me personally, like I have not had any ancestry tests done, but I was told by others that it would just like that, it would just open things up for you. You know, not like directly, but I could pick up on that, right? Like there's something going on here with these ancestry tests, and they're, you know, how it's shifting things. So this, because what I know about my history is only what I know. Only based on what has been allowed, you could say. Now, that brings me to like Aboriginal understanding. Right? This potency, this Aboriginal understanding. Original, right? Aboriginal. Solar understanding. Solar plexus, solar gates. Right? Gut. Your gut. Right? You have your gut. You also have your, you know, your sacral is more your intuition. Your gut is more your solar plexus. So it's that gut, right? That gut instinct. It's just an instinct. That's it. So returning to this primal state, but also existing within this, right, unified whole, and this union, right, this merging, this connection, this, right, and once everything's in harmony, everything's working properly. Sharing that. So, Aboriginal, right? This lineage. There's this lineage to connect to. And that is what is being opened. Because you naturally, right, when it has to do with you, you're going to kind of want to naturally kind of, you know, maybe research a little bit of your history or her story and start to see things from like the perspective of, oh, we live in this system. Oh, yeah, I think things need to change because this is like this root, right? No, we need some new systems here, right? We need some change. Because we know that these things are not rooted, right? They are not rooted in this right alignment, this original alignment to source. And I'm getting a lot of Syrian energy right now, so I'm just sharing that. So this 600, you know, this, right, the rise of the Roman Catholic, all of these things, right, that have occurred within history. And then we now live in that world. Sure, we've made a lot of progress, but to what end? The systems must change because they do not, and I am not saying that any of, like, this is about creating new systems. Like, creating new systems. This is all this is about. It is about creating the new. Right? This is just, you take a step back and you say, from the stillness, the still point, right, this is what we are going to create from now on. Quality, tolerance, safety. How do we create a world, right, that includes everybody? Or everybody is allowed to be who they are in their authentic nature. Connecting, right? Remembering, what are we here for? What are we here for? What are we here for? So we can all live in this harmony, to create this harmony. And you cannot create harmony by not allowing people to be who they are. Right? You have to accept. You have to live in a state of acceptance. Constant state of acceptance. And just, allowing things to unfold for you. And doing your part to create that new system. Whatever that may be. Because these systems do not work for everyone. They were not created for everyone. They may assume, but there is a way to take this, right, and embody this, right? So all these abilities, right? So you are activating your full potential in order to create change. Do you see that? So you need to be able to hold, right? Light, shadow, dark, the understanding of such. The understanding of humanity. You have to have opened up your humanity fully, wholly, and completely. That is necessary for union. And it is from that space and that orientation, that perspective, that embodiment of ascension. That's what I came here for. That is my purpose, and that is what I am here to teach others, is how to embody that, right? And there is a process. There is a process involved. Which heals this whole. Many divine feminine, many, may have or had, let's say, benefited at one time or another, right? Or perhaps we feel like we need this in order to get something. Holding on to these old systems, right? So where are you getting that idea in your mind? Is it because somebody else is telling you and you think that if you listen to them, that will get your union. I can tell you it will not. That is not how it works. This is something that comes from within yourself, that you align to, right? That you work through, you work with. That is what brings you your union. Right? This higher whole alignment, the chakra alignment, this system alignment of this is, sealing off where you're being siphoned, where your energy is being taken from you, where you're disempowering yourself, and it is going within to this deep, 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 deep space, your core, like your origin point, right? But it's this alignment to like all these origin points, right? All of this understanding. It is this whole understanding of things and how each thing fits, and how we each hold these parts of the whole, and we help to open each other up to things, especially here, right, on this planet, this remembering, and then eventual existing within this new state of being, this joy, right? This alignment, this ability to create and manifest anything from your heart, right? Anything your heart desires. That. And so this is the path forward, right? So there is this need to go deeper within in order to align to this change that must happen, that must occur, that is occurring, that has occurred, that will, no matter, it's all happening. But it is, it's just your choice. So it's already happened. It's just a choice. It's just a alignment, a shift that will bring you into those new spaces in order to understand, right, this need to be sovereign, independent, and yet wholly, and then connected to the whole, right? So this individual consciousness, fully activated online, operating, connected to this greater consciousness, these greater consciousnesses, greater intelligence, networks, you could say, or these channels, opening up to these channels. Opening up to these channels, opening your channels to receive this higher light, this higher intelligence, this higher understanding of things. So just coming into alignment with it, right? And that's it. And then you're done, with that part of it. If you'd like to be a part of that change, of shifting your life trajectory, shifting. It's already occurred, It's just a matter of whether you want to come on over here and, step in. Step in. It's just the process of stepping in. So I invite you all into my Way Forward course, or group course. You can do the course too if you want, depending on how much support you want at this time. I have a Facebook group for twin flames, those who feel they've walked that journey, you could say, right? So they've completed that journey, that twin flame journey, and they're just over it, and they're done with it, and it's out, and they're ready to transition into this new space of manifesting your life by design. Then that would be a great first step, would be to join my Facebook group. I am pretty active on social media, so I share my content there. I share inspiration. I share tips, tools. I'm getting an email list and newsletter up and running, and it's my collective, right? I work with a sacred feminine collective, so it's not just about twin flames. I'm a sacred feminine practitioner, so a lot of my work is with birth. I'm birth and creating and manifesting that process, that birth process. But I do work with twin flames to help them to embody into their union, to come within, go within in order to connect to their union and hold and align and allow and accept and hold that sacred feminine embodiment. It's not about waiting for another person, because you are embodying as a sacred feminine, right? And you are perfectly capable of doing this. Because you are a sacred feminine after all, so you have, this is your field, this is your jurisdiction, right? This is your power. How do you connect into your power and stop giving your power away, right? That's what I'm here to support you all with, in order to truly be no, things are going to change around here, right? Maybe that, it may be softening up a little bit. There's it's kind of like a refinement process that we go through, stepping into our true power and becoming who we ultimately are in our entirety. And it's that. And it's stepping into that space and being in that flow, right? In that alignment, and trusting the process. Birthing from within. Intuitively. And it's a process. So I hope to see some of you in my Facebook group. That would be awesome. And until next time, toodaloo.